cities of Miami and New York.
When Eric Adams was elected mayor of New York City, he had grand visions of making it a crypto destination.
Eric Adams pledging to take his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin.
He tweeted yesterday, New York City is going to be the center of the cryptocurrency industry.
But it turns out it's impossible, at least right now. Adams's pledge was an attempt on his part to one-up Miami, which has become New York's crypto rival. Adams fears the financial capital of the world, the city that never sleeps, is sleeping on what he believes is the future of finance.
We can look at what's preventing the growth of Bitcoins and cryptocurrency in our city. What is in the way of that?
For one thing, New York is playing catch-up to a city that's gone all in. In Miami, the mayor's office says he is converting his pay into Bitcoin. And last year, Miami hosted one of the world's largest crypto conferences.
Welcome to Bitcoin 2021. Are y'all ready to make some history?
Miami's mayor, Francis Suarez, was on hand to kick things off.
What I love about the Bitcoin community is the enthusiasm, the energy for innovation. And that's
what up, Hazel?
Our city and
good
our
to see you, fam.
God bless you. Thank you.
Suarez says Miami was first out of the gate with its own cryptocurrency called Miami Coin, and he's perfected his pitch to crypto entrepreneurs.
There's a cost of living differential, which is about 2 to 1 right now. It's twice as expensive to live in New York as it is to live in Miami.
That's already motivated traditional financial firms to move to South Florida, and some crypto companies, including blockchain.com. Peter Smith is its co-founder and CEO.
It's the gateway to Latin America. It's on the East Coast time zone. And more importantly, it's probably the most excited city in the world about crypto right now.
We're doing good, Hazel. We're doing good. The baby just had a lot of dental work done. She's got a beautiful smile. Everybody's happy. Thank you for asking. I'm a little crazy right now. The baby gave me her little cold, so I'm all congested. What's up, eh? Look at that guy just cutting us off. That's why I'm doing this live stream, guys. There's been a lot of crazy stuff on 75 lately, so maybe we're gonna catch some. Yup. That Coachisms, man, he's like the biggest flirt on YouTube, I heard. Yup. All the women flirting with him. Carlos, I got a better surprise, Carlos. Stick around, I got a surprise. Yup, I got a surprise, Carlos. Yup.
To release all arbitrarily detained artists on the island. Dozens are reported to still be in custody following a wave of popular protests last summer. Many of the people marching in those protests chanted lyrics from a hip-hop song that recently won big at the Latin Grammys. Elisa Baena of member station WLRN spoke to one of the song's creators. Carlos, translate!
A group of Afro-Cuban rappers and singers performed an acoustic version of the song Patria y Vida this year's Latin Grammys. The stage was full of candles to symbolize the blackouts Cubans have had to deal with lately under communist rule. The song's name, Patria y Vida, is a poke at Fidel Castro's slogan, Patria o Muerte, which means homeland or death. Patria y Vida means homeland and life.
Okay. Y el Latin Grammy es para Patria y Vida.
It won Song of the Year and Best Urban Song at the Latin Grammys. Rapper Yotuel Romero, who was born in Cuba and goes by just Yotuel, recalls how he felt when he went on stage to accept the award. He says he was really surprised because Song of the Year is a huge prize, and they were competing against musicians who are at their peak. Earlier this year, Yotuel and a few singers based in Miami collaborated with rappers in Cuba to record Patria y Vida. The Cuban artists recorded their parts clandestinely for fear the
welcome
government
to the
would
stream,
shut down the
Samantha.
production. Maybe
Computer
that's why it
check,
wasn't a
welcome to the
surprise
stream.
that the regime banned the song when it came out earlier this year. It became a rallying cry during demonstrations that erupted across Cuba last summer amid the blackouts and food and medicine shortages. Hundreds of Cubans are still being held as political prisoners.
Rusty, it looks
Influenced
like
by the hip-hop tradition of keeping it real, Yotuel and the group are advancing a Latin American musical form, the urban protest anthem. Patria y Vida is a hopeful song that tells the Cuban regime its days are numbered. The song says, "Your time is up. I was born in this century, and we're done with your lies and indoctrination." Yotuel says he doesn't want to get hung up on the past. He believes protest music should be about creating a new Cuba that will one day be free from the authoritarian regime. He's confident it will happen soon. Clearly, it's necessary to look to the future, and naming that future Cuba was very important for knowing what we're fighting for, Yotuel said.
Where was he going?
The fight is for a Cuba where young people can have a future.
He
Where
looked
you
like
don't
he's
risk
in a
your life
hurry. Get out of
speaking
that
out
fence
against the
lane.
government, and where people aren't dying to leave the country. In other words, where you have to choose between homeland and life. You can have both. Patria,
Puerto Rico, oh, Puerto Rico, oh, Puerto Rico, oh.
For NPR News, I'm Elisa Baena in Miami.
For liberal news, she was in Miami. Yup.
This is NPR News. After deadly tornadoes swept through the state, Kentucky is reeling.
Anything in the path of this storm was completely flattened.
And the extent of the damage done will make a search for survivors painstakingly difficult.
It's hard to understand how something like this, or why something like this happens. It is just awful.
Our continuing coverage of rescue efforts on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Oh, that's awesome, honey. What book did she read you?
NPR station.
What book?
On Detroit Today, Congressman Amy Levin joins the program to talk about the U.S. House passage of the Protecting Our Democracy Act, which would rein in executive powers.
Tonight at 7 on 101.9 WDET. WDET is a community service of Wayne State University, a premier public research university in the heart of Detroit.
WDET
Just in case, okay.
Humane, helping abused and abandoned animals. Donation info at MichiganHumane.org.
There's a pallet.
94 eastbound from I-75, basically all the way out through I-696. You're going to find stop-and-go traffic because of road construction. Then 94 westbound at Mount Elliott, there's a crash on the right shoulder. Northbound 75 at that debris has been cleared from one of the center lanes. 696 westbound between Drake and the 96-275 interchange is slow.
Live from NPR News in Culver City, California, I'm Dwayne Brown. In Kentucky, the number of people killed when tornadoes ripped through the western part of the state over the weekend is less than initially reported, but as Karen Czar of member station WUKY reports, dozens more are still missing.
Governor Beshear says the situation is fluid and believes the death toll will rise. Statewide, there are still 105 Kentuckians unaccounted for.
Of the ones that we know, the age range is 5 months to 86 years. 6 are younger than 18.
President Biden has signed a federal disaster declaration for 8 Kentucky counties. With more
She doesn't care about rich life, guys.
For NPR News, I'm Karen Zahn.
Death in the state, the death toll now stands.
We don't talk about YouTube, computer chick.
Kentucky was, of course, the worst hit.
I just tell her when people say hello.
14 people are dead in 4 other states: Illinois, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri. President Biden says his heart goes out to all those impacted and is vowing immediate.
I did tell her about Pansy, and I'm sad for Pansy.
Whatever they need, when they need it. When they need it, make it known to me, and we'll get it to them as rapidly as we can. And that's what we're doing here in Kentucky.
That declaration makes federal funding available to all those affected in the 8 Kentucky counties, where officials at a candle factory in Mayfield say the death toll will be lower than initially feared, since many more people escaped. President Biden plans to visit storm-damaged areas on Wednesday. At least 300 National Guard troops have been deployed to help out. Stocks finished lower to start the week on Wall Street. You're listening to NPR News.
It's 4:32. Good afternoon. I'm Russ McNamara with news from WDET. Those representing the 15-year-old accused of killing 4 students at Oxford High School want him moved out of the...
You guys get to see a freshly paved road here in Michigan. You're going to love it.
Ethan Crumbley is charged with murder, attempted murder, and terrorism, and will be tried as an adult. Oakland County Assistant Prosecutor Marquise says the teen should not be moved to juvenile detention.
Children's Village is not a secure facility. They have had escapes in the recent past. I can't imagine a situation where we could put this defendant in a school environment after what he did on November 32nd.
The judge agreed and denied the motion. Given the amount of evidence gathered so far and witness statements yet to be collected, Crumbley's next hearing won't be until early next month. The University of Michigan is renewing its plans to build a new research campus in Detroit. As WDET's Eli Newman reports, the first site was abandoned during the pandemic.
The original plan for the Detroit Center for Innovation was drafted by Rocket Company's founder, Dan Gilbert. Mayor Mike Duggan says it was too complicated to proceed.
As it got delayed, we were holding up the development of the entire site.
Now, Illich Holdings, which owns multiple properties in Detroit, is providing land for the deal. Real estate developer Stephen Ross is pledging $100 million to build the campus in the city where he grew up.
When I left some 54 years ago, I said I would be back, and this is really a great way to come back.
The Detroit Center for Innovation will host graduate students and internships focused on emerging technologies and is set to break ground in 2023. I'm Eli Newman, WDET News.
The number of COVID-19 patients is at a pandemic high in Michigan. Over 4,500 people are hospitalized, with nearly 90% of them unvaccinated. Dr. Paolo Marciano is Chief Medical Officer for Beaumont Hospital in Dearborn. He says hospitals are facing a multitude of issues, including burnout and exasperation of people who aren't vaccinated.
Supply chain disruptions, it's very difficult to know what we're going to run out of today versus tomorrow. But it is the burnout,
Beetle just does not want to hear anything about rich life. She doesn't care.
Just devastating.
The state health department has announced an additional 160 deaths from the disease.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Oliver Wyman, believing business success is a series of everyday decisions shaped by breakthrough moments, requiring expertise, creativity, and diversity of ideas and people. Learn more at oliverwyman.com. And from Avast, a global...
Hey, I was mentioning your name earlier. I guess you got a tickle behind your ear.
Their safety and privacy online.
Oh.
Learn more at
cops are on this side today, guys. This is where the sinkhole was.
From NPR News.
Remember, I used to go straight and then turn left.
What's it like trying to get nearly 200
And now he's sitting on this
countries to agree
side
on
of the
something?
sinkhole.
Well, Alok Sharma recently found out. He's the president of COP26, the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference, which wrapped up in Glasgow, Scotland last month.
I've talked about this being a game of multi-dimensional chess, where there are so many moving parts. I mean, perhaps a more appropriate description is this game Jenga.
That's the tabletop game where you pull one piece at a time from a rickety tower of wooden blocks.
So what we were doing at this COP is building, effectively a tower of commitments. And in these multilateral processes, it just needs one country to pull out one piece, and there is a potential for the whole thing to collapse.
The tower wobbled, but didn't collapse. The Glasgow Climate Pact reaffirms the goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement, which was to keep global temperatures
At a grocery
from increasing
store, huh?
more than 1.5 degrees Celsius from pre-industrial
Carlos, should I go do a stream live from like Mexican town, the grocery store, where probably no one, I just go in there and like I don't speak English, but I need groceries. I'll have a list. It'll all be written. Maybe someone could write it in Spanish, and I have to go there and figure out where it all is. Now, instead of going straight, guys, I'm making a right here because I'm going to show y'all something. I feel horrible today, guys. It all has to do with a midget wrestler. So this is smooth, other than me keep hitting the, what's up, D? How are you, D? Good to see you, D. Yeah, I mean, it would be hilarious. All right, check this out, guys. Starts right here. Look at this. Oh, it's beautiful. Those are not the sounds I make during sex either, folks. I'm just playing with you guys, having some fun. But look at this. It's beautiful. It just got finished, too. The yellow, the state flag still on the side of the road there. But we're going to see how long it will last. That's the key, folks. How long do we think this will last? But it's beautiful. It's smooth. Biggest problem in Michigan is potholes. I noticed that. Look at little rough spots. You can see them a little bit, but it's all good. 13. Maybe I can eat 13. You guys don't even know what man's got going on yet today. Yep. But look at. This has all been reseamed. This is set like 75. It's beautiful. Someone actually learned how to fill a hole and the hole be even. Yep. Yeah, they got rid of the craters. This used to be all craters, D. This was all messed up. This is Wyoming. This is where the Breakfast Club takes place, or the Breakfast Show. Yep. Nothing. I got me some White Castles. See, now you made me tell everybody. Ah! Coach seen me eat them the last time. How many I got? See, this guy, he's turning. Look at this damn jackass. Look at that. Can't even make the light. That guy ran it probably. Ah! D, she's doing great. She just read her mommy a book. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there with the paint. Oh my goodness. If the sun was a little higher. Woo! Somebody, oh, here we go. Somebody, they're in a hurry, guys. We're in a hurry. Guess what? Look at this. This is how far he got. You know, I'm pulling right up behind him. Look at this. You know, he's in that much of a hurry. In his Audi. Or Infinity, whatever it is. Sounds like a motorcycle. Oh, looks like they cut the grass. Yep, sounds like a motorcycle, guys. It's all coming back to me now. World War III coming next year, folks. Get ready. Russia is going to invade Ukraine, and China is going to take over Taiwan, who is the #1 manufacturing in the chips that the big three need. Hey, that was dumb son of a bitch, folks. Yeah, and then China is going to hold the United States captive for chips. Yep. And, you know, I heard that from a guy in North Carolina. Yep. Field trip. Where's the field trip to, Laura? No field trip here. We're looking for a good spot, though. Oh, maybe those people are still inside. I hope so, because I want their spot. Because I want to be closer. Almost to #1. Yep. What up? Check this out, Coach. Yeah, man. Woo! Maybe that's her. She's a comedian. Yeah. Yup.
This was a deal that felt to be saved, and we got it.
President, COP26, the 2016 United Nations Climate Change. It's always good to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to All Things Considered.
Metro Detroit had its first taste of winter at the end of November, while 7 inches of snow fell over the last 4 days of the month. The National Weather Service in West Lake is forecasting a snowier than normal scene over southeast Michigan.
Snowier than normal.
Meteorologist Chris Pullen tells WDET's Pat Batchelor the Pacific Ocean's La Nina effect will influence how much rain and snow we get.
In Washington, we do have cooler water in the Pacific Ocean off of South America, and that affects the weather patterns and throughout the entire globe. And it does that by affecting the weather patterns directly.
I love you too.
Which then have ripple effects farther north, farther south, and then east to west across the globe.
That's why
So
I eat these at work.
What's happening in the La Nina patterns? We have a larger high pressure.
Working a double, folks. We'll be farting for 24 hours straight.
Moves the jet stream up into Alaska, and then it dives down across.
We love Five Guys. I'll do you a Five Guys mukbang stream, whatever you want to call it.
Storm track, I think, comes out of the Rocky Mountains up into.
I mean, I ate the last time, Coach.
It's just all the spacing of those high
Big old glob of
systems.
onion.
And it's
Oh,
also
it's
stated
delicious.
that the Pacific Ocean is just such a large.
Five Guys is awesome.
Such a large source of warm moisture.
You can make that at home, Five Guys.
Another phrase we've heard in past winters that gets thrown around.
I'm telling you.
Vortex.
It's just 80-20.
And where does the cold air
Cook it till it's well done.
from?
Yeah, the polar vortex has always been there. It's just a phrase that kind of got caught wildfire through social media and traditional media probably about 8 years ago now. What happens is when a piece of the polar vortex breaks off, or if it moves far enough south into Canada, that's when we get our Arctic outbreaks across the United States. And that's what everybody, obviously, in the United States will notice. So we usually see 1 or 2 Arctic outbreaks every year. And in this winter season, it would be very likely for us to at least have 1 or 2 Arctic outbreaks. With that jet stream dipping out
Thank you for stopping in.
to the northern Rockies, that's going to bring
got some
our
water.
air into the northern Rockies and northern Plains states pretty routinely. And that
I don't think
Arctic
it's
air
that.
has
It just
a
says,
chance to
okay.
move into the Great Lakes,
Maybe.
with any vigorous storm system that happens to.
All right, guys, I got a taste test here for you because I think I screwed up when I bought this.
It just won't take up residence like
A&W Zero Sugar Root Beer.
vortex outbreak.
No sugar, no caffeine, I'm screwed.
From 2 years
I'll be
ago.
buying a 5-hour energy when I go inside.
Now, 5 of the 10 warmest and 7 of the snowiest winters on record in Metro Detroit have occurred in just the past 20 years.
It's not bad.
How much of that can be attributed to climate change?
Not bad.
Well, there is a fingerprint of climate change with both of those, believe it or not. When we have warmer than normal and near record warm in the wintertime over the last 20 years, we have that many years. That is a direct impact from a warming planet. But also a direct impact from the warming planet is having more moisture available.
Yeah, man.
The warmer air holds more moisture.
Ah, there he is. He's
In the winter.
What the fuck? What you got there? You got a whole case.
Yeah, I'm going to eat 20 burgers live on YouTube.
We're still pretty cold.
Say hello.
Oh,
Well, try to eat 20.
now you're gonna share?
I'll be there. Do you want a couple?
Hey, you staying over?
Yeah. Yeah. I better have a good job.
And that warmer air mass can hold more water, more snow.
All right.
Rich Pullman is the warning coordinator.
That's the day shift leader.
At the National Weather Service office in White Lake.
Oh, yeah, get closer.
Southeast Michigan averages almost 3 feet of snow and 7 inches of rain in the winter. Seems like a
Man.
lot. Gotta fill those lakes somehow, I guess.
You're going to fill it with snow.
It was a departure, Chris Wallace from Fox on Sunday.
Yeah, you guys are going to think I'm weird. But watch this. It's only a spot, but
Like the way you listen to WTF,
it's like,
it might be a smart speaker.
I know who's in that car.
WTF. Maybe you listen to our podcast. Or
He's probably in the side chat. Yup.
wherever and whenever you want to listen. And that is
Snowman! Woo!
support. Now is the time to wrap up the year with a gift at WDET.org or by calling 800-959-9.
Hey, 12 feet closer.
WDET is supported by Broadway.
Ah.
What the Constitution means to me. December
All right.
14th through January.
We ain't done yet, guys.
A hopeful
But I'm going to gross y'all out here real quick.
founding document shaped our lives.
Oh, excuse me.
.com.
How are you?
696. Was basically right up to 96.275 interchange. There is a crash. 94 westbound from Mount Elliott. There's a crash on the right.
All right.
Partly cloudy tonight. Temps in the lower.
Now I'm even more, you know.
Pleasant tomorrow. A high of
Rumor has it Beetlejuice, yeah, man, wears diapers. Now, I ain't even talking about shit like that. We ain't talking about rich life.
That he is leaving Fox News is drawing
Nope,
attention to
she don't care about that, any of that.
Right-wing rhetoric. It's
What size diapers I need?
Digital habits are
Look at this.
reshaping the TV news business. Wallace is headed to the new CNN
I'm gonna put my
Plus digital service. which
Plate
is
back where it gotta go.
next year.
There we go.
And
Oh,
David
now we're in
Fox
business.
joins
Look
us
at this.
to
Look at
chat
this,
both of
guys.
those. Hey, David.
Hey, Mary Louise.
Oh, it's just falling off.
You are learning about why Wallace left Fox News.
Well, look, Wallace is 74. He's been at Fox News for 18 years, and he says he wants to get beyond just focusing on politics every week. But there were certainly tensions that would show up on the air when Wallace would sometimes correct or try to temper the sort of pro-Donald Trump rhetoric and misstatements and sometimes lies that would emanate from his opinion.
Oh, okay.
The air, he became increasingly concerned. Recently going to the CEO of Fox News, Suzanne Scott, with Brett.
Yeah, Rich Life. You can't eat
saying that
White Castle's fresh because they don't have it there, buddy.
Into a Tucker Carlson series on the January 2020.
You can't live your life like man.
We're undermining the credibility of Fox News. Things needed to change. They got no sign that things.
You got nothing.
And suddenly, a few weeks later, Wallace
Rich Life
is going to CNN.
Yeah, and what's the plan for him there at CNN Plus?
So what we know is that he'll be doing a daily, weekday, hour-long news program focusing on interviews with newsmakers, politics, yes, but also presumably popular culture and sport.
Every single one, Beetlejuice.
And influencers, people who affect society at large. And it will be sort of appointment viewing on this streaming service. He's one of the big names, along with Casey Hunt, who's lured over from NBC, MSNBC, and one presumes...
Are they going to have TikTok influencers?
Background question, Dave, but what is CNN Plus? Do we even know yet?
Totally fair question. It's supposed to emerge sometime early.
They've already had him at the White House.
Quarter of next year. What it is CNN's push to get viewers on smartphones and tablets as well as online.
That cackling laugh.
Consciously uncoupled from cable payments.
When she doesn't feel, she feels uneasy and don't have the.
Involving Hunt and Chris Wallace.
Yeah, man.
What they say will be a rich back catalog of cultural programs like Lisa Lang, Anthony Bourdain, and Stanley Tucci. Think of this, though.
What up?
Intended to draw on the hundreds, if not more than 1,000 journalists globally, and there will be a lot of sort of more straight-ahead news reporting than I think the high-intensity...
Carlos, you're late.
Template that
look, Carlo, I told you, look.
Domestically, I think it'll be a lot more like CNN International, and that it will differ, though, from CNN and CNN.
Cheeseburgers, everything, and ketchup.
Promises to places like Spectrum and Comcast that are paying them good money to carry their channels, that they won't simply just slop them over on the digital side. They've got to come up with a new formula for paid subscribers to pay every month.
With the mustard.
Oh, I don't do mustard.
It's going to be really interesting.
Everything is
we can all get CNN on our
mustard and
phones,
ketchup.
we don't have
No, I just, they're snowman, folks.
That mix they make?
CNN,
I never had it. I've always just gotten ketchup. And growing up in Jersey, it was ketchup.
They think that not only
always ketchup.
Cheeseburgers, everything. That's got that mix stuff in it. They mix up the mustard and ketchup and they squirt it in one bottle.
Okay.
There's a crowded field at the moment. MSNBC is offering.
Yeah, these are good.
Kind of analogous.
And it's smoked cheese.
Let's not forget Fox Nation, which is apparently what people want to pay money.
I order it like that. I can't stand their American cheese.
It's quite a
And you got big old globs of it because the lady was going crazy, I think. Sometimes they can't get it apart.
It's a common perception that white evangelical families are more likely to homeschool their children.
18 votes, snowman.
Started teaching their kids at home, especially during the pandemic.
Took a couple.
Ira Miles from member station WBHM reports on why some of
I gave him 2.
in Alabama are taking their children's education.
I'm up to 6. This is number 7.
It set in for Gita Kedra Griffin that her kids wouldn't be
Coach knows I can't eat no 18 anyway.
I don't know, it was like a light bulb moment. And ultimately, what I realized is that the pandemic just gave us an opportunity to do what we needed to do anyway, which is homeschool.
3 things made Griffin decide to start. First, she wanted to protect her kids from racism and bullies. She also
yeah, man.
Understand their cultural history.
And number 3 is
not today, Satan. Not today. Not today, Satan. Not today.
African Americans, their Nigerian history and culture in them first.
Yep. Hey guys, he's taunting me. Hold that up again.
Who they are.
He's taunting me. He's got his
for homeschooling.
Timmy Hortons over there.
The Census Bureau reported that in April 2020,
yep, he's eating them burgers.
Of black households homeschooled their children. And by October that same year,
oh yeah, it goes to the Breakfast Club.
Those numbers
are
completely accurate because a lot of kids were learning at home in 2020. So the census clarified its survey question partway through that period. But even so, Joyce Burgess, who founded the National Black Home Educators, says thousands of families have joined that organization since 2020.
I think we're going to see more and more parents.
Carlos!
Homeschooling their children like never before.
Homeschooling in Black households can be its own unique form of activism. Field Smith is a professor at the University of Georgia. She studies how Black mothers use homeschooling as a form of resistance.
We are combating the leftovers from slavery. This idea of white supremacy and the inferiority of Black people lingers today. We are overcoming racism through homeschooling. I don't think white people can say that.
Oh.
Data from
So Carlos, I go to this White Castle in Novi.
Found that Black students were suspended.
Oh no, I believe it. This is one of those stories like yours. I go to this White Castle like 3:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. Had to be closer to 4. We're at the casino. Oh, excuse me. Went out to Novi. And then I was going to camp. Oh man, whew.
Black people to get an education. So
this had to be 07. Yeah.
Duckworth has 3 kids, and she's been homeschooling them for several years already.
Feel sorry for your
coworkers. Field trips.
They'll be all right. I'll just crop dust, computer chick.
It feels great to be around.
Hey, no hard feelings from before. I'll send you a message later.
The odd person out.
And then you'll understand
The
why.
group held its first homeschooling summit. Duckworth says in just 3 years, the Black homeschoolers of Birmingham has grown from 2 families to 70. For NPR News, I'm Kyra Miles in Birmingham.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken kicked off his first trip to Southeast Asia today with a stop in Indonesia. The region is key to the United States' emerging strategic rivalry with China and the U.S.
I'm getting there, Carlos.
Relationships that took a blow under former President Trump.
What's up, Jesse Scott?
Whether the U.S. can do so tomorrow.
Some black ice air fresheners. Ah!
And
yeah, they're good with that cheese.
All things considered.
I didn't really notice, but I'll try that
for NPR.
Yeah.
From this station.
I use their app all the time.
Maker of small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, distilled.
Oh, I do it every random.
One over here on Dixon.
Closed.
Alcohol by volume.
Oh, yeah, they're closed right now.
It's responsible drinking. From Fidelity, with Fidelity.
Nice. I like that. Islanders, sweet.
How much they'll need, and helps them build a plan for cash flow.
The only metropolitan,
to living.
you know, city that has 3 hockey teams.
LLC. And from
You know?
dedicated to bringing travelers to the heart
Is it that? Yeah.
That's close.
And
LA's got 2.
offering programs designed
Anaheim,
for cultural enrichment
Ducks,
and
which is
immersive
pretty much LA,
experiences
and LA
on
Kings.
board and on shore.
Yep.
San Jose's too far away. It's almost San Francisco.
WDET
Gotcha.
supported by CNBC,
All right, so
the news with Shepard Smith.
But Oakland
the stories that
and San
matter,
Francisco have 2
delivered in
baseball
context
teams.
and with perspective.
LA's
No
got 2
opinions,
baseball teams.
just the news.
yeah, New York
The
got
news
Mets
with Shepard
and
Smith.
Yankees.
Weeknights,
They used
7
to have
Eastern, CNBC.
The Dodgers.
No, they used to have 3. They used to be Giants, Yankees, and
Detroit's
Oh,
NPR
okay.
station, your
The
connection
New
to
York
news,
Giants
music,
before
and
they moved to
conversation. I'm Russ McNamara.
San Francisco like LA.
Good afternoon.
So it's them and the Devils tonight.
On the way.
Nobody's
Traffic is
playing
sponsored by
tonight.
attorney Gary August,
As far as
specializing
I
in
know.
business lawsuits.
Oh, Carlos wants me to tell you his White Castle story.
That crash is cleared.
He said he went to White Castle. He said it was like 12 years ago.
Postponed.
On the left shoulder.
Oh, really?
COVID.
Partly cloudy tonight.
Damn.
Game scheduled.
Partly sunny and pleasant tomorrow. High
He
of
says the
35.
guy was there and he was
Showers
peeling the
on
cheese
Wednesday,
like it was a
highs upper 50s,
newspaper.
Could hit the lower 60s on Thursday.
Tomorrow.
5 o'clock.
Wow.
Tomorrow.
I
Islanders.
was thinking about getting
Okay,
out,
that's crazy.
but
That's
yeah,
why I got
probably would've been
30.
shift, working that night shift.
I have 29
This guy had
of
other
32
plans.
team
Kentucky
tats.
reckons
Well,
with the
actually, I have
aftermath
30. I don't have
of
a Vegas
string
hat's
of
not like
tornadoes.
this.
For
It's
Monday,
Vegas.
December
Right,
13th.
right.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News.
I do have Winnipeg Jets
about to take Sam's spot. Get on the other side of you. All I do is move
But
up.
I got the old logo, and then I got the Winnipeg Jets of now, old logo from Atlanta when they were the Thrashers.
You know he's leaving. He coming back.
Tornadoes is kind of more difficult than other types of weather.
Even better as a couple.
Some of the candidates inspired to run for office after losing a loved one to gun violence.
I felt empowered to use my voice as a survivor, and I saw how it could make legislative change.
Now this news.
There you go, guys. Snowman.
From NPR News in Washington, Sam Jackson.
I'm talking to these people.
No, he says
Oh yeah, Sam. He's leaving. He comes in. He makes sure the line's full with rivets. He sees the supervisor. He waves to him. See him.
Governor Andy Beshear says Kentuckians killed by
Oh, absolutely.
storm ranged from 5 months to 86 years old.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is.
Several counties in western parts of the state. Rescue crews are continuing search efforts.
No, I'm not, Quinn.
No, I don't have.
Death toll is known.
Actual, I don't have the new Winnipeg Jets.
Okay.
I have the old logo, which is the Atlanta Thrashers.
That's that's a lot of hats.
I have the old Phoenix / Arizona Coyotes from run. They were the
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot is set to vote on a criminal contempt referral. Former Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
Las Vegas.
Your study of Wallace reports it comes after Meadows ended his cooperation with the Democratic-led committee last week and filed a lawsuit against him.
The committee released a 51-page
And that's a fitted baseball hat, yo.
previewing the thousands of documents he
They
did
stopped
turn
making
over before he stopped
the
cooperating.
NHL team, so it's hard to find Zephyr hats with it.
That sucks.
They never made a Kraken hat.
A day before the attack,
Vegas
saying
hat,
the
so-
National Guard would protect pro-Trump people on January 6th.
Still digging for the.
Another
That's right, D. D says, I know him from the breakfast club.
Where do you think we were going to eating? We're eating after we got done working.
That's
Duh!
right. Yup.
Duh! If we're starting at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night,
That's
we're
right.
going out. We're working 10 hours. We go out to breakfast at 5 a.m. Duh!
Oh, now she's messing with you. She says that's the guy that can't decide which NHL team to pick. She's listening to your hat story. He's messing with you.
Yeah, they all match my freaking Red Wing tattoo, so.
There you go, folks. All right, we'll see you later. That's great. Yup. Carlos, man, I went in Novi for burgers, and I swear to God, there's this old black man standing by the back door.
Administration has sought to streamline bureaucracy.
Of
administration put Vice President Al Gore in charge of reinvent government, and other
of the White Castle.
Tried to make
And then when you pulled around and got your food, and the door opened up,
Brian Naylor, NPR.
the vacuum was sucking the air in from the back door because he had the door open, and the White Castle had a really good pressurized system. And you could just smell the weed he was smoking. It was hilarious. He's back, folks.
I told you when I went to Los Angeles. Right?
Yeah.
From sales meetings to daily.
Oh, there, yeah, the Staples Center. Yup, you showed me some of these.
24/7 support.
Oh, heck yeah.
Food solutions at easycater.com.
That's cool.
Traffic
Yep.
reports
Not
made
Staples
possible
Center
by the
anymore.
Crohn's
They
and
renamed it.
Colitis.
But is that still on the building?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a different spot. Anyways, I had a Predators hat and a freaking Whalers shirt on when I went to that game.
He's the hockey man, folks. He's the hockey man.
Has wide bipartisan support. Also,
That's it. He's the hockey man.
Helping to land big battery-powered vehicle factories.
14.
To other states. Brad Williams is with the Detroit Regional Chamber, which represents businesses in Southeast Michigan.
If we're going to continue to
Yeah, that guy's married,
the
Quinn.
most exciting industry in the world, we need
To
be
a woman.
aggressive about competing for it.
Michael Lefebvre with the Free Market Mackinac Center think tank says that would come at a price.
Of course, it's very expensive and forces many taxpayers to underwrite a few.
The money could come from federal COVID-19 recovery funds.
People are still leaving.
U of M health system, like many other hospitals in the state, is experiencing another surge of COVID-19, and health workers are stretched thin. Dr. David Miller is the president of U of M Health.
We want to emphasize that patients who are in need of emergency care, please come to the emergency department. We are here. We will take care of you. But in circumstances where another option may be available and appropriate, please also consider.
Where was there a
so
cook?
that we can make sure that we are preserving access in our emergency departments for very sick patients who are in need of immediate care.
The vast majority of patients currently are unvaccinated. The state health department says over the past 3 days, the state is averaging around 5,400 new coronavirus infections. They also announced 160 more deaths due to the disease.
He's probably at home.
696 westbound between Orchard Lake Road and the I-96 I-275 interchange. That's slow. Northbound 75 is backed up between 8 Mile and 11 Mile. Southbound side slow through the same area. Partly cloudy tonight. Temps in the lower.
Beetlejuice, Quinn's trying to pick up men here. That's all.
45, breezy and mild with showers on Wednesday. Highs in the upper 50s.
Quinn's trying to pick up the men.
This
That's
is
basically it.
From NPR News, I'm Audie Cornish.
And I'm Mary Louise Kelly.
Maybe we can set him up with
Officials now
Jay.
confirmed that more than 100 people died in 5 states after powerful tornadoes swept through parts of the Midwest and the South on Friday night. The death toll is highest.
Hey, Beetlejuice, you want to buy a snapping turtle?
He said 74 people, including 6 children, died. Governor Andy Beshear says there is not a camera lens big enough to show the scope of the devastation.
You stand in the middle of Mayfield or Dawson, where 2/3 of the town are gone, or in that town in Muhlenberg County, and it's almost crushing how it feels.
Well, joining us now from Mayfield, Kentucky, is NPR's David Shaper. Hey there.
Hi, Mary Louise.
Is the governor right? There just isn't a lens big enough to capture the damage you are seeing there?
He is right. It's just devastating. It's just this area that I'm in of Mayfield is completely wiped out. There's no home here that is
So
upscaled.
far.
In fact, most are completely demolished. I'm looking at one place right here that's just a set of concrete steps leading up to nothing. All of the debris from the home is in
You wear
a couple
outfits?
yards away. The city's water tower is up in this neighborhood too. It was lifted off its foundation and dropped on a couple of homes a little ways away. It's now a crumpled mess of heavy metal. It's hard to tell what it was. 30-year-old Charles Johnson survived with his girlfriend and their 5-month-old baby by huddling in an interior closet in their house.
I locked my front door up, and all I could hear is people over here screaming help and everything.
8 burgers, folks.
There was a woman that lived right there where that tower hit. She got pulled out of her house.
Here's 2,
flung way over here
4,
in this backyard back here. And I opened my door, and she was
6, 8,
on her hands trying to crawl through the street. Get
10.
And noticed that she needed help.
Oh gosh.
2 of them went, I gave
Everybody I talked to say that they're
Snowman 2. Got 8 left, baby. Woo!
28-year-old Rafael Mercado.
It's like I'm not that far away.
A few blocks away from here, just on the edge of the zone of destruction. He says that house shook like it was an earthquake, and the tornado's roar was deafening. But he says now the aftermath is affecting his young son.
The aftermath.
Start waking up and turn the flashlight on and I can.
Sugar daddy season, huh?
Nightmares, or he's afraid it'll happen again. He's autism. He don't speak. I mean, I can tell that he's nervous.
I mean, you can't blame him, David. What is the latest from the candle factory there in Mayfield that we've heard a lot about? I'm seeing the latest from company officials. 8 employees confirmed dead, 8 still missing, but a bunch of survivors.
So the candle company, Healthcare Consumer Products, is very well known here. Everyone seems to know somebody who either worked there or in many cases they've worked there themselves. You know, state officials initially feared that there might have been many who died, as many as 7 in that rubble. The company says that it is now located almost all of those thought to have been missing. State officials are working to
I look
verify
like
that because,
Elmo.
you know,
He has no hair, Quinn. I have hair.
Huge mound of debris that
I have a big ass beard that I need to
Carl
trim
Johnson worked at that factory.
and shape.
Says it's got a pretty poor reputation
Yup.
around town.
If I still worked at that candle factory, I don't know. I'd probably be
You're
dead
something
right
else there, Quinny boy.
now. Right
But we
across
love
the
you.
street here, she worked there. They finally ended up finding her.
You'll have my channel always
38% of
come
her
to
body was burned up from all the candle wax.
when the rest of them are gone.
Mary Louise, it's sad. There's so many heartbreaking stories just like this.
Thank you for being there and sharing some of them with us. We appreciate your reporting, David.
Okay, Mary Louise.
NPR's David Shaper in Mayfield, Kentucky.
Is climate change at least partly to blame for the tornadoes that swept across at least
Quinn's
6
hitting on
states
me,
this
guys.
weekend?
Telling me I have nice
It's a question
eyes.
many are asking, and it's one scientists are looking into.
Or he's
NPR's Dan Charles
trying to
reports
embarrass
it's
me
a
by
hard one
saying
to answer.
I look like
It was
Elvis.
almost 2 decades
We have the
ago
same
when climate
eyes.
scientists started suggesting that as the planet warms up, we might see more tornadoes. They said we'll see more warm masses of air.
I don't know, buddy.
They are the
I'm not getting involved.
sometimes producing tornadoes.
Anything between you and
A
Elvis.
tornado expert
Yep.
and head of the atmospheric sciences department at the University of Illinois
Yep.
was skeptical.
Look at that,
I just
folks.
didn't like the arguments that they were making.
He was thinking tornadoes are rare. Partly
10
because of
burgers,
other things,
folks.
too, like vertical.
Gotta
wind
build up
shear,
to it, you
winds
know.
that are faster and slower at different heights.
This
The last time, how many did I eat?
which then fosters the tornado.
I don't know, guys.
So Trapp started working on this, trying to figure out the
I could prove it,
likelihood
though.
of tornadoes in a warmer
I'm not
world
gonna.
once you include all these factors
Yep.
in computer models. And what he and others have since found is the models show more of that warmer air to fuel thunderstorms, but less of the wind shear that makes them spin.
Yep, be
Balance
careful
out
with
those
that snapping
forces,
turtle,
and
Quinn.
It does look like a warmer world has somewhat more tornado-friendly conditions. Trapp says he's getting some new results from his models that indicate tornadoes in the warmer world at the end of this century.
Oh,
will also
somebody's
be more
here.
intense.
We tend to find when we do this.
Oh, God, it's Marvin.
The tornadoes that form.
Look at him over there, guys.
Are more
Check him out.
Computer models are not the end of the story, though. Kiara
You
Lepper
look him up and talk to him in adult palsy.
Earth Observatory says so far we're not seeing
What's going on, man?
in the real world.
We got 12 people watching.
What up, dude?
The number of tornadoes
Yeah, man.
this year varies a lot. Michael Tippett at Columbia
This is my
University
buddy
says
Marvin.
there's
You know, that
evidence that
famous
it's more
video.
common
He
now
couldn't
for
get his
tornadoes
hilo
to
running.
happen in bunches.
That's right.
Geographically,
Hey, they got you going on the little scooter, though.
Huh?
The day you were broke down on the scooter.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell was wrong with it? It just acting up?
That was my first time driving. I didn't know how to operate it.
Yeah, they act up.
The overall increase in tornadoes
Yep.
that the models say you might expect.
Yeah, man.
Why haven't we seen that? It is not lazy. The simple reason why everything with tornadoes
Yeah.
is more difficult than other
He
types
got
of
the
weather
Bell's palsy
is they're small.
from the
That creates
COVID
a couple
shot.
of difficulties. Tornadoes are easy to miss. Records from many years ago are wildly incomplete. So it's
He
hard
going to
spot.
Dubai.
But the other problem is weather and climate models just are not good at predicting things as sudden and relatively small as a tornado. And they may be wrong. Maybe there's something else, some small scale factor that these models can't catch.
That's what I heard.
Affecting whether tornadoes form or not. Dan Charles.
Oh, was he Quinn? Was he sexy enough for you?
$380 million. That is how much USA Gymnastics.
You can mess with
and
him,
the
I
US
bet.
Olympic and Paralympic Committee, along with their insurers, will pay the women who were sexually abused by former Olympic.
That was the guy from the first
The
American
settlement comes
Idol.
after a 5-year legal battle, and it includes a promise for USA Gymnastics and the Olympic Committee to designate some of their board seats to survivors. Attorney John Manley represents more than 180 of Nestler's survivors. He joins us now to talk about the settlement. Mr. Manley, thanks for being here.
Mr. Manley.
I mentioned you've been working on this for 5 years. Is this a good settlement?
Squinty weasel eyes.
Yeah, it is an excellent settlement for the survivors. It is a defeat for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee,
I don't know what
and
the hell they're
USA
talking about,
Gymnastics, who spent over $100 million in legal fees trying to defeat these women. I've never been prouder of a group of clients in my life, and I can tell you.
Yeah, he's going to Dubai, Quinn. You might want to get with him.
For what they accomplished, not for a legal settlement, but for changing the face of
10 burgers, buddy. I ate 10.
this country, especially children.
CB Nation. What's up, buddy?
Comes along
Good to
with
see you.
$500 million from Michigan State University. So a total of
Good to see you, man.
has been allotted for these women. Understand, of course, that money cannot undo past wrongs. Is this justice?
I think it's justice in one sense. It gives
Straight out of
Many
Germany.
of whom
Woo!
suffer daily with horrendous PTSD. Some of these women, some of our Olympians were abused over 1,000 times by him. Their entire childhood was
Oh my goodness.
Larry Nassar abusing them day in and day out for months on end, even on the Olympics. So yes, but in another sense, no, it's incomplete justice. The FBI we now knew for 17 months that Larry Nassar had molested Michaela Maroney, Alan Raisman, Simone Biles, and Maggie Nichols, who appeared before Congress to testify. And they did nothing. In fact, they did worse than nothing. They actively conspired with the leadership of USA Gymnastics and USOPC to cover it up. And the Justice Department, both the Trump Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department, have done absolutely nothing to hold them accountable.
So it sounds like there's more you would like to see done. How the case was handled by the FBI and other
FBI
litigation to come. What about the other development that I described?
Litigation.
We're going to go to Nassar survivors. How big a deal is that?
Survivors.
And I can tell you, I believe that
I will rate your eyes.
Survivors gave up money.
Oh my goodness.
To get that.
Can you rate the eyes of a snapping turtle?
I can't discuss the mediation itself, but it's my personal belief that occurred.
I might have to back in next time.
Is because they fundamentally want.
Then you guys can watch these fucking freaky people walk around
the only thing that matters. Because that way they can protect other women, girls, and boys, and men from this happening.
We just have a few seconds
I
left.
need more vanilla candles. Yeah.
Of the survivors.
Vanilla candles, folks.
You've also said, you told ESPN, this is the case you are most proud of.
Beetlejuice needs vanilla candles and a P.O. box, probably.
I got to represent people.
That's a joke.
I was in the middle.
But like all those YouTube channels, oh, my P.O. box is in the description, folks.
Somebody who has won the Medal of Honor. They competed for our country.
I need a snapping turtle.
They were treated like garbage by the people that were supposed to honor them.
You know,
a lawyer.
The air's low in my tire. I might need replacing it.
Represent them, give them justice. Is just a
TireRack.com.
Mr. Manley, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's Attorney John Manley. He's representing.
Oh shit! We're gonna get one more spot closer, folks.
Victims, and this is
We've done it.
It's 5:18. I'm Russ McNamara. Good afternoon.
I believe Vince went
All
snowmobiling.
things considered. Gun control groups are recruiting candidates to run for office whose lives have been affected by gun violence. The candidates say they'll bring a new perspective to understanding issues around guns.
Do I want to waste my time? Stay here.
Don't matter. Whether you are 23 or 83, you can make a meaningful gift to WDET through your will, trust, or other.
Long fart. How are you?
Let us know by calling 313-577-3342.
Yes, California's affordable housing crisis has gotten worse, but
there's been a lot of.
Oh yeah, we need candles, folks.
Continue to bring more resources.
Look at the shots I can take now. Look at this.
installed the Project Room Key program. Next time on Marketplace.
Marketplace this evening at 6
Oh, look at that.
on 1019
Look at that sky.
WDET.
So we've been collecting entries for the Elton John Prize on Giving Tuesday, and every gift from that day through December 31st is automatically entered to win a grand prize package of 2 tickets to the February 9th concert here in Detroit, a $200 Mabel Gray gift card, the Elton John 4LP Deep Cuts vinyl set, and a copy of Elton John's official autobiography. You don't have to make a gift of support to win, but we would like it if you do. Head to WDET.org right now. Is sponsored by Mary Midtown this Saturday from noon till 5 with festive shopping, dining, music, and more at your favorite North Cass businesses. Heavy delays.
All right.
Winter Mount, 94 eastbound.
Yeah.
Block.
I'm happy he got that spot.
Comes from this station and from Norton LifeLock. reminding consumers there was a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds in 2020.
All right, Jesse, remember that when we're out like Christmas shopping. And I need you to remind me what flavors I'm getting.
Platform designed to help businesses attract, screen, interview, and ultimately hire candidates, all from one dashboard. More at Indeed.com.
So I just think of Camillo.
And from the
Right, Coach? And I'll think of Vanillo.
NPR station.
How do you say it on the wrestling
That's
show?
All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Audie Cornish.
And I'm Mary Louise Kelly. The gun violence epidemic in the U.S. unfolded at a nonstop pace this year, taking lives in big cities and in small towns, in grocery stores, schools, and homes. It also inspired some whose lives have been touched by gun violence of all kinds to run for office. NPR's Juana Summers reports.
The gun control group
man.
a training program earlier this year. More than 100 people.
Hey, when you pulled into that spot, I was like, oh, I'm happy he got it.
Yeah. Well, I don't use the handicap too much anymore because I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's like I really don't need it. But
that's the positive.
But in the pinch,
yep.
I got it.
Yeah, that's a positive. Looking at it that way.
Yep.
That's great.
I mean, I really don't need it. So
I feel you.
But there are days.
No, I feel that way today. I took my leave.
I hear you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope.
Another fucking fun-filled day.
Oh yeah, we all right. I love it. I'm happy where I'm at now.
I'm glad you are, man. Because you don't have to deal with no drama, man. You're back off on your own. Nobody fucks with you.
Yeah, I don't feel like I gotta worry about getting in trouble or something happening and a misunderstanding, and I got 3 days off for some bullshit.
Yeah. There's too many eyes around where we work. Where we used to work.
Yep.
And fucking assholes.
Asshole. Yep.
I don't want
whatever.
I'll get back
I
to
guess
my...
Marvin's okay over there. He's doing the job. He's doing the job.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can.
But you know what? He helps me out, man. He brings me back my inner ranks.
Oh, that's cool.
Because some days they just blow through a lot of them because of the mix.
Yep.
So like, I won't bring anything over unless I won't go get anything unless I'm bringing something over.
Right.
So
right. It's about you cycling. When I do your job on day shift, I just go over there and I get what he's got, load the damn train, and then just send it, and then I wait.
Gun violence brings something unique to their campaign.
Wait till you got something.
Yep.
Otherwise,
Or I wait.
If you don't want them there, then bring it back.
Right. Exactly.
So,
all right, I'm gonna keep you.
It's pretty, it's pretty tough over there, man. Everything's all packed up.
Oh, I know.
Nowhere to put nothing.
Yeah, I like it down where I'm at there. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Gun control proposals with bipartisan support among voters, like universal background
Ooh. Yeah, I saw it. Knocked out.
This country has a huge gun culture.
Go get it.
That's
Go get it, Quinn.
He's running for an Orlando area congressional seat. He got involved in the anti-gun violence movement in high school. And
I had to figure out the area code, and then it took a few guesses. So Pansy Coach said she got a call from a robot. Well, that's bothered.
In a new way.
The Pasta Club, whoever,
weapons.
It's sad to say.
Don't get me wrong, I'm going to fight hell for these things once I'm a member of Congress.
We'll see what happens.
This is what the NRA is counting on us just spouting the same 3 policy points and hoping they'll pass.
Keena Collins agrees and says policymakers need to talk about the conditions that lead to gun violence.
I know what we can do,
She's challenging
Coach.
Democratic Congressman Danny Davis in a district that includes parts of Chicago.
The shooters in these communities are not born wanting to be shooters. Society turns them into these shooters and circumstances.
Well, Quinn, anything to worry about on your end?
How are we investing in prevention instead of reaction?
In North Carolina, Nitha Alam had never considered running.
Oh, I see that. It's about time somebody does and just doesn't let it slide.
In January, we competed in a football tournament together, and literally 2 weeks after that, they were gone.
While it wasn't charged as such, the victims' families and friends described it as a hate crime. For Alam, it was a catalyst, and it got her thinking.
How do other elected officials talk about Muslims? We're constantly siloed and othered, and that contributes to the violence against us.
Alam ran for Durham County Commissioner in 2017 and won.
What are you ready for, Quinn?
She says that the country
To answer the door?
needs leaders like her who intimately understand what can be lost.
Because as long as you just answer the door and cooperate, nothing happens. It's not like you have to fight the police off.
4 siblings and a cousin.
They simply knocked on the door and said, "Sheriff's office."
Company. That's the premise of Succession. Last night, the 3rd season of the HBO show wrapped up with some major power grabs. And spoiler alert, we're going to talk with NPR TV critic Eric Deggans about that show. Welcome back, Eric.
Hi.
I was only teasing. Spoiler alerts ahead for the whole conversation. Starting with the fate of the troubled sibling Kendall Roy, played by Jeremy Strong. Tell us what happened.
Well, as you said, spoiler alert, Kendall didn't die. He did nearly drown, but he was saved. And I knew that Kendall likely wouldn't die. His status as the one child of this family who's been most completely shortchanged by his father makes him...
Uniforms!
And Jeremy Strong delivered some amazing performances, including last night when he revealed to his siblings that he accidentally killed someone, and their father, Logan Roy, played by Brian Cox, covered it up. Now, the biggest development here is that the 3 siblings most involved in the business, that's Kendall, Roman, and Shiv Roy, they banded together to try and stop their father from selling the company to this Elon Musk-style tech entrepreneur. But overcoming their mutual distrust and realizing that they can't really trust their father, he still may have outmaneuvered them.
So this is kind of a Shakespearean drama in a way, right? The idea of the king, so to speak, and who does he leave the family business to?
Thank you, Coach.
Can you talk about how this has
I got
played
the
out
other
this
one.
particular season? What made it distinct?
Yeah, well, so the season started with Kendall challenging Logan. He wanted to use this scandal to force his father out of the company, and it might have worked. His siblings have worked with him, but they couldn't stop backbiting each other until they realized that the sale was happening. But the sale isn't just about them losing power. It's about their father telling the world that he would rather sell their company to someone else than leave it for any one of them to run. And it's the kind of betrayal that gets them all to understand just how transactional their relationships have been with him.
Can we talk about how the story has evolved, though, right? Because in a way, this cycle has been going for a number of years now.
Right. Well, the last 2 episodes of this season really took flight. We saw these characters go through self-delusions, and they spoke honestly. Shiv, the sister played by Sarah, stated pretty plainly that she didn't love her husband, Tom. She also had a conversation with her mother, Logan's ex-wife, that highlighted how Logan manipulates everybody in the family. And Kendall saw his dad confront him about covering up this accident. Now, I think this season moved too slowly. We spent way too much time watching Kendall kind of fall apart and not enough watching this family come to grips with itself. So last night's episode, to me, kind of landed like a movie for the 3rd act.
We know the show is, in fact, headed for a 4th season. What are the predictions so far?
Well, and again, a spoiler alert. It seems like Shiv's husband, Tom, warned Logan what the siblings were going to do in opposing the sale. So he might have some more influence going forward than he has up till now. But what happens if the 4 Roy siblings work together to stop their father? So much of the show is the impact of inherited wealth and family-run corporations. So can the Roy children kind of toss off the damage and impact of their parents and find a better future together? Well, probably not because it's Succession, but it's going to be fun seeing them try.
That's NPR TV critic Eric Deggans. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is NPR News.
After deadly tornadoes swept through the state, Kentucky is reeling.
Anything in the path of this storm was completely flattened.
And the extent of the damage done will make a search for survivors painstakingly difficult.
It's hard to understand how something like this, or why something like this happens. It is just awful.
Our continuing coverage of rescue efforts tomorrow on Morning Edition from NPR News.
Morning Edition with Pat Batchelor starts at 5 a.m. right here on Detroit's NPR station.
And Don was. Friday nights at 10, Andalisi and I will be hanging out in the WDET studios.
Quinn versus Jesse Scott.
Stories. Hang out with us every Friday night at 10 here on 1019 WDET.
WDET is a community.
How is it at both ends?
University, a
It's not both ends.
University in the heart of Detroit.
16 days.
By the Cranbrook Institute of Science, presenting the exhibit Space, A Journey to Our Future. Now
Hazel, I'm still here listening, doing cardio at the
94
gym.
eastbound at I-75.
There's some guy on YouTube, he says you don't have to do cardio to lose weight.
Also 696.
Yep.
We're looking
Unfortunately,
at some slowdowns once you get around Orchard Lake.
mental case,
94
yeah.
eastbound is slow between Shane and Gratiot. US 23 southbound is slow from Washington Avenue heading down to I-94.
Live from NPR News in Culver City, California, I'm Dwayne Brown. In Kentucky, at least 74 people have been confirmed dead in the state's worst tornado damage
I'm so
ever.
congested right
Emotional
now.
Governor Andy Bashir told reporters
I
it could
think I
take days
have.
to come up with a final death toll because of the sheer devastation from the twisters.
My God,
that hit
I
late
already
Friday.
took a lead.
Our National Guard, we
To
have
the other side.
augmented our forces that are assisting with recovery now.
Advil.
48 guardsmen in the field, and of those, at least 95 are doing a
I think I have.
and working in these communities to look for missing Kentuckians.
The governor says more than 26,000 homes and businesses remain without power after several transmission towers were knocked down. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration has opened a probe into the Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, that collapsed Friday night. As Eric Schmidt of St. Louis Public Radio tells us 6 workers died in that warehouse after tornadoes hit the Midwest region.
OSHA has 6 months to complete its investigation and issue citations or fines if Amazon violates
I got a
workplace safety and
Benadryl.
health regulations. Amazon spokesperson Kelly Nantel says the 46 workers there only had a few
And
minutes
it's
of
Dayquil. I'm taking this
before the tornado
Dayquil.
hit. She says they either went to the north or south side of the 1.1 million square
The
foot
Benadryl put me to sleep.
It's in an area where there are no windows, so that
Yeah, I got
it's safer space
Benadryl.
to be in the building. It is not a
I
safe
got a
work.
Benadryl and a Dayquil. I'll take them both, I
in the
guess.
south portion of the facility. She added
Yo.
Amazon welcomes the OSHA investigation. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he will work with
All
state and local agencies to gain a, quote, full understanding
That'll
of what
help.
happened. For NPR News, I'm Eric Schmidt in Edwardsville, Illinois.
President Biden plans to tour damaged areas on Wednesday. This is NPR.
It's 5:32. Good evening, I'm Russ McNamara with news from WDET. The teenager charged with shooting 11 people at Oxford High School, killing 4, appeared via webcam in court for a probable cause conference today. Deborah McKelvey is serving as
Damn it.
appointed guardian.
Oh, I found
She
it.
made the case for the teen. to
Oh, that went for a ride.
I just
Thought I
feel
lost
that
it.
You know, I'm not being humorous when I say this, but he could still at least be in school. I mean, there are things, he is still 15 years of age. And there are certain things, many things he's not going to get into jail.
District Court Judge Nancy Karniak denied the motion, saying the teen belongs in jail since he's being charged as an adult. McKelvey says the 15-year-old has complained that he can hear the adult inmates from his cell at the Oakland County Jail. The Oakland County Assistant Prosecutor said he was expressed concern to jail administrators. Some students are asking Oakland County schools to go online in the wake of these shootings at Oxford High School on November 30th. Lake is a high school junior who launched a petition on change.org asking that all students in schools in the county go virtual until winter break. Lake says students are shaken by the event at Oxford and afraid of returning to school because of the threats many schools have received since the shooting.
And just because it wasn't your school or you didn't personally know those people doesn't mean that our communities don't need that as a deal.
That petition also asked administrators
Oh,
to
watch
list
out the
detailed
way
safety plans
Coach
before
going.
returning students
We
to school.
going be
It's collected more than 10,000 signatures so far. With Michigan's fourth wave of COVID-19 showing no signs of slowing, health officials across the state are urging expectant mothers to get vaccinated against the coronavirus. Pregnant women are often more susceptible to serious respiratory infections due to changes in their lungs. Dr. Michael Chemis is maternal fetal health specialist with Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids. In ICU with COVID, have had to go through emergency cesarean section.
It's intense, and it's something that you would only expect to see a handful of times in your career, but we've started to see it more regularly, which is very, very scary.
Dr. Chemis says studies have shown that COVID
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Klaviyo, working to help brands deliver personalized email and SMS campaigns.
I'm scrolling
that drive
here.
Revenue and create genuine
Teaching me the
customer
ways.
relationships. At KLAVIYO.
Yeah, Coach, you gotta like upload Frank Sinatra to your
And
channel.
from your
And
part-time controller, specializing in nonprofit. Your
like the
part-time
album.
controller helps nonprofit organizations with their accounting
We're so close.
More at
Hey, I got us another subscriber.
controller.com.
Yep. What are you up
This
to
is
anyway,
All Things
Coach?
Considered from NPR News. I'm Mary Louise Kelly.
And I'm Audie Cornish. After a series of tornadoes tore through Kentucky this weekend, the confirmed death toll is inching closer to 100. And for
I'm
some
just
civil
sitting back
engineers,
here.
it's another grim reminder of the need for preparing homes,
Relaxing,
factories, and other
listening,
buildings
letting you guys
for
chat
stronger
away.
storms.
I like it when I have
For
a
more, we reached
active
out to
chat.
David Pravat, professor of civil engineering at the University of Florida. He studies how to prepare buildings for tornadoes and hurricanes. He joins us now. Welcome.
I would run a live chat for you
In
guys.
a moment, but first I want to start with
If
some
you're
of the
interested.
photos.
I
There's
mean,
been drone video
almost
of the damage
24/7.
this weekend.
I know Coach
so
could
many
help me.
flattened homes, and I wonder, when you see these images, what goes through your mind?
Two things. It is shocking. It is a terrific thing to see, and actually it's worse to see it in person. The second thing that goes through my mind is
you
how
went
much
up
of
one.
this was preventable had we thought about
hustling
doing
it.
something many, many decades ago.
What does a building, any building, need in order to have a chance at withstanding a tornado?
So I am here in University of Florida, and we have been dealing with hurricanes and hurricane damage to buildings since 1992, Hurricane Andrew. Essentially, the same things that are required for hurricane damage is required for tornado damage. And that is continuous
I don't
and
know.
strong vertical load.
If I need a lighter, I buy my own.
From the roof to the wall.
Do you need lighters? I'll buy you some.
And integrates that entire building together.
How common is that kind of design in development?
It is common in my state, in the state of Florida. It is less common in the structures that I have seen in tornado devastated places since I've been looking at this.
Do people can look at tornadoes differently than they do hurricanes in a way?
To some extent, yes. One of the problems with tornadoes is firstly, many people think that it is such a rare occurrence that there's nothing that they can do, and this is not true at all. The other thing that people think about tornadoes is because it's so extreme that the
I saw that Florida weather, Florida.
like hurricanes
I saw that.
and earthquakes, it's rather small. The tornado
With his shoe. With his shoe, folks.
Perhaps the last 20 or 30 years.
Look at that sky, how big it
rivals
is.
the amount of damage that we will see in
Look at that.
hurricanes in that same period.
Isn't that nice?
I don't know if you are thinking or talking more aggressively about climate change, but is that in this conversation as well?
It is in the conversation. I'd say it's above my pay grade.
Okay.
Well, I know there's lighters in the drawer
Take a long
in the
time to
kitchen.
develop and to build.
I don't take no lighters.
So, all of these communities that have been hit this Friday.
Dig for them.
The building construction plans have been going on for perhaps 50 years. Since the Lubbock tornado, for instance, in Lubbock, Texas. And we continue to build in the disaster of the future.
What's that say, vanilla candles?
By choosing not to build to tornado resilient standards. Regardless of what happens with climate change, the fact is, I would not expect all
I
lifetimes
ain't take
to
nobody's
see any
lighters.
reduction
It's
in the
getting
number
ridiculous
of
here.
tornadoes that we have every year. 1,200 tornadoes every year.
1,200 tornadoes.
In the United States.
Well, David Pravat, thank you so much for your time and expertise.
Thank you so much.
That's David Pravat, professor of civil engineering at the University
What
of
ones
Florida.
did you buy? I don't have nothing to do with
1 year since the first COVID vaccine was authorized
Oh
in
my
the U.S.
goodness.
Cameras
All right.
captured images and video of the first person to get the jab following the authorization. She's a nurse on Long Island who was unwittingly thrust into the limelight, and as NPR's Allison Aubrey reports, what she has done with her notoriety has inspired others.
When Sandra Lindsay rolled up her sleeve 1 year ago, she hadn't intended to make history. She'd signed up to get the vaccine with a bunch of colleagues. But it turns out she was the first to be captured getting the shot. And within moments, images began to circle the globe. Her family was shocked to see her on TV.
My phone is buzzing, it's vibrating in my pocket. And
Did I put that back in down there? I got all of that?
Mom, and I'm getting calls
Yes.
also from Jamaica, which is where I'm from. And it was just wild.
She had planned to just go back to work that day, but that didn't happen.
But it turned out that I was up early the next morning to appear on morning shows, and it's been, a whirlwind since then.
She served as the Grand Marshal of New York City's hometown hero.
Okay, well, you put your 5-pack somewhere. When did you bought these candles?
For becoming, quote, a shining example of exemplary civic service. Meanwhile, she completed her doctorate in health sciences, all while holding down her day job as director of nursing for the critical care division at Long Island Jewish Medical Center, which is part of Northwell Health. But over the past year, Lindsay says she's been most passionate about encouraging others
Yeah,
to
still
get
no
vaccinated.
lighters.
And that has meant listening to a whole lot of people who were very hesitant.
It was the misinformation. The vaccine is a track.
Better behave yourself, Quinn.
Chip in your arm. So I think it's important to acknowledge, not
Oh.
anyone, but to acknowledge that it's important to have questions.
I hope this stuff
and
starts
engage in
working. I feel
conversations.
awful. I'm
Along the
supposed
way,
to work a
she
double.
learned one secret to changing
Put them in the
minds,
drunk
and it
drawer.
often
Now I
starts with
got
what
none.
happens
I did nothing in the drunk drawer.
So say
I
you have a
touched
family
nothing.
member who remains
I
unvaccinated,
ain't been in no
who
junk
wants to be
drawers.
included in a
5
holiday
packs of
gathering,
nothing.
maybe a family dinner. How would she handle that?
People need to feel loved and hugged and not shame. Shaming people, you're not vaccinated, you can't come here is not the answer. Really letting them see the benefits.
So she says, why not try this? Talk with a family member one-on-one in a way that is not confrontational. Maybe schedule a walk.
You say to someone, look, we're having this conversation because I really care about you. I'm concerned. The virus is still taking lives, and I want to be around with you.
If you're the host of the upcoming gathering, ask the unvaccinated
I
friend
think
or
he meant he was
relative
heading off of the app.
in your shoes.
Ask him how he would
You
deal
know,
with it.
he won't be looking.
Ask him for suggestions.
Flipping the script may prompt some self-reflection. Lindsay says there's not one strategy that works for all. But despite the fact many adults remain unvaccinated,
Jesse, she put him somewhere. I just can't remember where.
vaccine hesitancy among black adults in the U.S.
I believe that we're closer to the finish line.
Right, exactly, Quinn. I knew you
And
weren't
she says
quitting
she feels
YouTube.
grateful for the platform she's
Quit
been
YouTube, folks.
Allison Aubrey, NPR News.
Oh.
You're listening to All Things Considered.
Oh my goodness.
In recent years, land acknowledgements have become one way to address injustices against Native Americans.
I don't have
Acknowledgement
it.
is one thing, justice is another. The Northwest
5
News
lighters.
Network's Anna
No.
King has the
I don't have
story
5
of an
lighters.
attempt to repair that relationship in Central Washington.
It's a race against winter to load.
Why? Did you find them or something?
On the 1,500-acre Inaba farm near Yakima. 4 generations of his family have farmed here. Now, Lon Inaba wants to retire and is selling the land.
He's selling the land, folks.
Anyone. He's selling it to the Yakima Nation.
The tribal people have been really good to my family, and this is a way for us to return the favor.
Inaba's grandfather came to the U.S. in 1907 after getting a degree in agriculture back in Japan. But as a person of Asian descent, he couldn't legally become a citizen or own land. The way he got around the law was to lease farmland on the Yakima reservation.
They were able to subsist.
After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, the U.S. government forcibly removed West Coast
Well, guys,
in camps.
I got about
The
15
Inabas
minutes.
were
I'm
sent to
heading
Hart
in.
Mountain in Wyoming. Lon Inaba says his family
YouTube.
grew
I'm
food
just
there,
focusing on
too.
school. Yeah, he meant he was closing the app for the evening or for my stream. Yeah.
After the
She
war,
needs
the
ladders.
Inabas returned to central Washington.
Join her
By
candles.
1954, laws had changed, and the Inabas could legally buy property within the Yakima Nation. Good farmland.
Yeah. And apple spice, right?
Now, Lon Inaba is helping the Yakima Nation take over his family's
That's right,
land.
and apple spice, folks.
Trust on both parties.
The tribes are celebrating this deal. Virgil Lewis is the vice chairman of the tribal council. He remembers his family always being able to provide for the family.
She would can all kinds of fruits, all
All
kinds
right,
of vegetables.
ladies and gentlemen.
Big, huge celery.
Later, dudes.
Lewis says farming the